The seam split. It did not grind, or hiss, or do any of the things he had spent 900 hours being told that doors like that do. It simply stopped being one surface and became two, and the light came out between them, and it was not white and it was not blue. It was the colour of about 7 o'clock on a summer morning, and it was coming out of a hill in October in the middle of the night. He put the phone in his pocket because he didn't need it anymore, and that was somehow the worst part. The gap went up. It went up past where the roof of the cave had been. It went up past where the hill had been. He put his head back and followed it, and it kept going, and it went out of anything he had a comparison for, and he stopped looking because his balance had gone. Later he would be told the figure, and the figure would be 2,100 meters, and it would mean nothing because there is no number that does that.
You're joking.
The dog walked in ahead of him.
No, Bracken, no, come. Oh, for God's sake.
And so the first human being to walk into that place in 8,000 years did it at a fast jog, in someone else's coat, shouting at a dog. Inside there was a corridor, and the corridor was wrong in a way that took him a while to place. It was wrong because it was clean, not preserved, not sealed, clean. There was no dust, there was no water damage, there was a floor that his boots squeaked on, and the squeak came back off walls that were too far apart, and somewhere ahead of him and above him there was air moving. Somebody had been running the extractor fan for 8,000 years. The lights came on ahead of him as he walked, about 20 meters at a time, and went off behind him about the same, and he noticed after a while that he was walking inside a moving pool of light in an enormous dark, which he did not enjoy.
Right. Okay. So this is a facility. This is somebody's facility. This is mod. This is Fazlane or something.
He was talking to himself in the specific way people talk to themselves when they are building a normal explanation out of materials that will not support one. He came to the first door about 4 minutes in. It was shut. It had no handle, no panel, no keyhole, and no seam that his fingers could find, and he stood in front of it for a while, feeling like an idiot. Then he touched it. It opened. And so did the next one, and the one after that. And then he came to a place where the corridor ran into a wall with 9 doors in it, all shut, and he walked down the line and touched each one, and every single one opened.
They all open.
He had spent 2 years living in a room with no door, and he was standing in a building where every door in the world opened for him, and there was nobody to tell, and no way to explain why he had sat down on the floor. The 9th door opened onto a gallery, and the gallery had a rail, and beyond the rail there was no floor. There was a city. It went down, and it went out, and it went up, towers going up into a dark that had weather in it, bridges at 4 levels, something that was unmistakably a park, dead and grey, and 8,000 years past its last watering, with paths through it and benches beside the paths. There were windows, thousands upon thousands of windows. Not one of them was lit.
Hello?
And his own voice came back to him off a city, 7 seconds later, from 4 different directions. He found the room by accident, an hour later, because the dog went into it. It was small. It was almost the only small room he had seen, There was a chair in it, and a low console, and above the console there were 3 columns set into the wall, each about the height of a man. 2 of them were dark. The third had light in the bottom of it, not much, a finger's width at the very bottom, moving slowly, like something breathing in its sleep. And under it, in a script he could not read, there was a number he absolutely could.
4. 4%.
He stood and looked at that for a long time, because he was a boy who had spent 900 hours in a game about logistics, and there is exactly one thing that a lifetime of that does to your head, and it is this. He did not think, "What is this place?" He thought, "How long have I got?" He put his hand on the console, because there was nothing else left to touch.
Is that you?
Brian. He did not move. He did not breathe. He did not turn round, because he knew exactly what was behind him, which was nothing, and he was not prepared to have that confirmed.
We want the heating on.
Grandad?
The wind's got round to the north. It does that this time of year. It comes down off the top and it sits in the glen, and there's no shifting it. I'll put the heating on.
Grandad, where are you?
The bed's made. It stays made. That's not a complaint. It's just so you know it's there.
It was his grandfather's voice. It was his grandfather's words, every one of them, in order, out of a letter in a shoebox under a bed, 2 miles away and 800 feet up. It was his grandfather's pauses. It was the way he came down on the end of a sentence, like he was putting a box on the floor. And it was not his grandfather, and Ellis knew it inside 4 words, and it took him another 9 minutes to be able to say so out loud.
You're not him.
No,
Then why do you sound like him?
because he was here for 41 years. And he talked. And there was nobody else.
He sat down on the floor of a room the size of a garage, in the bottom of a city the size of a mountain, with a dog against his leg and a stranger's coat still dripping onto the floor, and he asked it the only question he had left.
Does it know he's dead?
And the light in the 3rd column moved a little, slowly, the way something breathes in its sleep.
Who?
Outside, on a hill in the rain, 9 rotten poles carried a wire over the top and down into a glen that had never once gone dark. 11 minutes past 8, it had gone dark, and now he knew why.